Hey listeners, welcome to What's Up Legal, hosted by attorney Jeffrey J. Jinks. This podcast is where business law meets your community. So let's get started. Today's guest, Donny Freeman from Open Box Roofing. Donny stresses how important it is to keep up with your home warranties. He also gives us a step-by-step process in choosing a company with integrity and that you and your family can trust when repairs are in need.
Hey, well, welcome everybody. This is What's Up Legal. I'm Jeff Jinks, attorney, and today we've got a great guest. I think you're going to enjoy learning about Donny and his family and his company, and all the things that they do, how they intersect with the legal community as well. I've known Donny for a couple years now. We're part of I don't want to call it a tip group, but a networking group, and we trade business back and forth in that group, B&I. So we might get into talking about B&I a little bit. But let's start out. I always like to start with letting the audience know who you are and kind of where you're from, your family, and just kind of the personal side of things before we advertise for Open Box.
Sounds good.
Okay, good.
So I'm Donny. I've been in Indianapolis now about 10 years. Grew up in Illinois. Graduated from Illinois State back in '04. After graduation, I moved to Charleston, South Carolina. Spent a couple years down there. After that, moved to Honolulu. Thought I'd stay for.
Oh, I think I'd be staying for a long time.
10 years later, I moved to Indiana.
God.
So I spent my early to mid 20s to into my 30s in Hawaii.
Right.
Had a lot of fun, met my wife, settled down, started a family, and thought Hawaii's a little expensive. So we decided to move to Indiana.
Okay.
We can afford to live.
No volcanoes here.
No volcanoes, oceans are a little farther away.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what you do in Hawaii, that's a very interesting, I don't know very many people who've lived in Hawaii. I know lots of people that vacation there.
When I was in Hawaii, I ran a restaurant group.
Okay.
There were 7 locations, 5 in Hawaii, and 1 in Vegas, and 1 in Key West. So I traveled Oahu, Maui, and then Key West and Vegas.
Excellent.
That's kind of my area.
Wow. That'd be very fun. That seems like very fun to me, but
It was fun.
fun,
It was a good time.
hard work, fun. Yeah,
It was
good
hard
time.
work.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah.
So well, tell a little bit about your family. We started getting into that a minute ago. You're married, you got some kids.
Yep.
They're in sports and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah. So my wife Sarah.
Yeah.
We've got 3 kids: Layla, Donny, and Axel.
Okay.
Layla's my oldest. She is 9, or no, she's 10 now. And we are very active in sports.
Okay.
Yes.
Excellent.
Lots of sports.
That's good. That keeps them out of trouble.
Yeah, hopefully.
Trouble is working. Tell me, how'd you get into the business that you're in now, and maybe explain to our audience what Open Box is. How you even got into that because I know what it is, but it's a long way from Waikiki and Honolulu and Key West.
Yes. So I was in the restaurant industry my entire life. My dad owned restaurants growing up. I was in there washing dishes, wrapping baked potatoes. Went to college, got a business degree, said I'm never working in restaurants again. Graduated from college and became a butcher, and right back into restaurants.
Oh my gosh.
Moved to Indiana, continued in the restaurant world, but once we had some kids and life got busy, the restaurant world just didn't work anymore. It was very time consuming, holidays, weekends, evenings, I was always at work.
Yeah.
So then finally kind of had enough. Briefly got into the car wash industry because the hours were a little better. It just didn't do it for me. And then the owner of Open Box, Tom, I met him through some mutual friends, and he just called one afternoon and said, "Hey, I started a roofing company and I need some good, honest guys to be out there helping me out."
Yeah.
And I said, "I don't really know much about roofing. I'm not a sales guy." And he's like, "Yeah, but you're really good with people." He's like, "You have no problem talking to people. I think it'd be good." So I jumped in with both feet, gave it a shot. and I love it.
Excellent.
It works well. I mean, it gives me the quality of life. I'm schedule appointments when it's convenient. I can coach all my kids' activities. I can be with my family. If I got something going on at 3 in the afternoon, I just stop scheduling appointments about noon or 1.
Yeah.
And I'm there. And it's, you know, the uncapped earning potential is great. So if you need a little extra money, get out there and hustle.
Hustle some more, work some more. No, that's good.
Sell a couple more roofs and you're good to go.
And is it roofing only, or what else do you guys do?
No, we do full exterior.
Okay.
Roofing, siding, gutters, doors, windows, anything on the outside of the home.
And I've seen some pictures, some before and afters in our networking group, and I've been stunned when I see the difference of the, you know, side by side, the before and after. Just the color, what it can do, or the new roofing texture. It just makes it like a completely different home, and obviously a lot more valuable. Is that something you do on the design end, or who picks all that out when you're selling a job?
I'll sit with the homeowner. We have some 3D renderings. We can take a picture
Okay.
of your home, you know, all the angles, and put different material on the siding, different designs, different colors, different roofing material,
Yeah.
and kind of walk through that with you, and you can kind of make adjustments and see what works best for you. And everyone has a different taste in what their home's going to look like. I try not to make too many suggestions to homeowners regarding style, but
Right.
if they ask for my opinion, I'll give it to them.
Sure.
But yeah, you can really transform the look of your home just by, you know, updating your siding or roofing or whatever it is.
Is there, I guess to me, siding is siding, but from your perspective, you might have a wide range of products that you put out there. Is there some guidance you can give to consumers? What to look for, pros and cons, and that kind of thing?
Yeah, so there's, you know, there's a certain style of siding that works for each home. Every home's different. Some homes, vinyl siding is what works best. You know, it's very, very low maintenance, not a lot to worry about. You might have to pressure wash it every couple of years, but that's about it.
Yeah.
We do that a lot. James Hardy fiber cement is very, very popular. It's great, tons of options. I mean, it is like Legos. You just build it how you want it. Everything comes in different shapes and sizes and looks and colors. I mean, there's hundreds of colors offered, or you can just paint it whatever color you want.
Okay.
But there are
So
a lot of
that is a
materials.
question for me. So I would have thought that you do paint all of them, but it doesn't come like in wood color and you paint it. It comes from the factory with all the different colors?
Yep.
Okay.
There's probably close to 800 colors that you can order.
Okay.
Straight from the factory. It's not powder coated, but it's kind of the same process. They put it on, they bake it, and then they put it on a second layer and bake it. It's very consistent, done in a controlled environment, and it's got a great warranty, so you won't have to paint it for 15, 20 years.
Oh, wow.
And it will maintain its color, it won't fade. It's come a long way, the James Hardy material. And there's tons of options for trim and, you know, the shake look, straight shake, staggered shake, board and batten, stucco, you name it. It's out there and available.
And when you go out on a I want to call it a sales call, but it's not really, it's a consulting call. Do you normally know that you're going to do the whole place, or is it start with, well, we're having trouble over here, and it evolves as an engagement?
The way it usually works, someone will call when there's an issue,
Yeah.
or when they're not happy with something. You know, that can be, I have a small leak, can you do a small repair and take care of that? Some people, hey, we just moved into our house, we love the house, we don't like the way it looks. I mean, it's all across the board.
Right.
Everything's a little bit different.
Totally.
But what we do is we'll come out and, you know, we always do a full inspection from the ground up, all your siding, windows, roofing, gutters, everything. We might see something that you're not aware of that could be a simple couple $100 fix now and save you thousands of dollars down the road.
Yeah.
A lot of people appreciate open box. We're honest. If you just need a small repair to buy you 10 more years, then we're going to let you know that.
Yeah.
we always give people options. Do you want something that'll buy you a year or two? Do you want to just replace it now and be done with it and not have to worry about it for 25 years?
Yeah.
We can go that route. But it's up to the homeowner what they want to do, but we like to kind of tell them the condition of things and, are there any issues that we see today
Right.
that we could handle and take care of and save you in the long run.
Okay. And so you'll do the siding, the roofing, and windows also, or no?
Yep, we do windows and doors
everything.
as well.
Windows and doors. Okay.
Yep.
And is that all custom? I don't have any experience with windows at all and doors. That seems like I would be able to get a door anytime I want. Is that true, or is that a complete misconception for the consumer?
You can get a door anytime you want. You can go to Lowe's and buy a door
Right.
for a couple $100.
Yeah.
Like a garage service door.
Yeah.
It's just a steel door with a handle on it and
Yeah.
door frame. And if that's what you're after, we can install that for you, no problem.
Right.
And then it goes all the way up to when I'm designing a door with someone, there are so many options,
Mhm.
as far as where the glass is, what the pattern is, what is it, like some kind of artful design glass, colorful, the hardware, the sky's the limit.
Sure.
I mean, there are a lot of options for doors, and most things are custom made.
Oh, really?
Like windows. If we replace all the windows in your house, we would place the order. They make all the windows to your size, and then we would come install them.
Okay. What's a normal job size in terms of turnaround and that kind of a thing? What would you expect if you go out and do a roof job? That's kind of one thing. Maybe windows, maybe another. Kind of give the audience a flavor for what they're looking at in terms of time to get from start to finish.
So 90% of the roofs we do in one day. Our crews are anywhere from 60
Off
to 10
and
guys.
on in one day?
Yes, full on. We show
Okay.
up in the morning when the sun comes up, tear everything off, get it all dried in, have lunch, and then we wrap it all up before we leave. Clean the yard, you won't know we're there.
Right?
We get everything cleaned up, taken away, everything, the dumpster, the material.
Mm-hmm.
It's a one-day process. The bigger roofs, multi-family apartment complexes, sometimes will go into 2 days. But we like to do it all in one day, just get there, get it done, and move on.
Okay.
Siding is typically...
That's incredible to me. I can't believe you can do. I mean, I'd
Well-
love to leave in the morning and come back and everything's done and perfect. That's
Yeah.
quite a crew.
The guys do them, they operate like a well-oiled machine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's usually, 80% of the guys up on the roof doing the work, a few guys on the ground cleaning up
Yeah.
loose ends, throwing tools up to them, getting material to them, getting things away, clean, like it's, after lunch when they're installing the shingles, they slide them down the roof and nail them in place, and it's just like
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty cool to watch it happen.
Yeah, no kidding. Do you do the supervising on that, or you do more of the consulting part?
I'm more on the front end,
Yeah.
the consulting side, and then we do have on-site project managers
Of
that are
course.
on every job, because it's construction. Things
Yeah.
come up, nothing goes as planned. We know that. So they're there to help put out the fires, get whatever we need,
Yeah.
keep things going. And then at the end of the job, I'll come back and do a final walkthrough with the homeowner just to make sure that everything is done the way they wanted.
Sure.
Make sure everything's nice and tidy.
Sure. So a lot of our audience would be investors that have properties. I suppose that you didn't mention apartments, which I didn't know you guys did commercial type of stuff.
Oh yeah.
So maybe let's talk about that a little bit and what recommendations, if anything. On the one hand, yeah, it's up to the owner or the investor to decide what do they want, but from your perspective of installing and what's available in the industry, do you have any recommendations specifically for investment type of properties and even going up into apartments, because we certainly have apartment owners as clients?
The main thing I like to tell people with investment properties is just stay ahead of the game. We do complimentary inspections,
Mhm.
so a lot of my clients will call me for annual inspections, whether
Yeah.
it's a 20 unit complex, and I'll say, hey, building 1, here's a couple issues I saw that we could take care of, or hey, you're about 5 years out from a roof, you might want to start planning on that. It's a pretty high cost item. As far as individual single family homes, you just got to really keep an eye on things and address them immediately when they come up. If you got a shingle that's kind of loose and you don't address it, you can get some interior water damage in the insulation, the drywall, and all that adds up pretty quick.
Right.
Or it could be a simple swap out one shingle and you'll have no issues for 10 more years.
Right.
And then there's different, we're an Owens Corning preferred installer, so we use Owens Corning shingles. And there are different levels. I mean, there are, the 3-tab that a lot of builders use that kind of look very rectangle and symmetrical. And then you get into the architectural dimensional shingles that have a little better appeal to them. And then all the way up to the, the flex line of shingle that has a class 4 hail rating.
I don't know what that is.
Everyone waits for a hailstorm to replace a roof. If you get up to 2.5 inch hail, the shingles will not be damaged.
Oh my word.
So everyone around you will be getting a new roof, and you'll just be sitting there saying,
"You're okay.
Fine. I'm in good shape."
Thank you, Donny.
So
thank you, Open Box.
And we educate everyone on what we have to offer. And a lot of investment properties are like, I'm not spending all that extra money. It's a rental. I don't care.
Right.
Other people say, hey, you're telling me if I put this on for the next 30 years, I'm not going to have any. But for that extra $1,500, let's go that route.
Right. Let's do it.
So
when you got a guy like me who I like read and write for a living, so I wouldn't know even that I had a loose shingle. I guess if it was falling off, I would notice that. So take me through a homeowner. What can they be looking for to alert themselves that, hey, I need to call Open Box, I need to get with Donny and try to figure this out, other than I see water coming in. I mean, I've had a leaking roof before in my first house. Couldn't figure out, but it was coming through in above the entrance door. So I knew, I'm like, there's water up there somewhere. I don't know what's going on. Had to get a new roof out of it. But that's the only way I knew that things were going bad. So is it pretty much kind of like that, or is there things we can do to preventative maintenance or anything like that?
Yeah, it's funny you asked that. Preventative maintenance is huge on a roof. A lot of people are not aware of what you can do to get your full life out of the roof. Like I said, we do complimentary inspections. A lot of them are now annual, now that the company's growing. And if we put a roof on a year after that date, we come back and inspect it just to make sure that everything is still, performing the way it's intended to. But things you can look for are just little, if you notice discoloration, or if a tree limb fell on your roof and you're like, I don't know if it's damaged or not, we'd be more than happy to come look at it. When it rains, are the gutters getting the water away from the foundation? That's a big one. If, a gutter becomes detached and water's just getting down by your foundation, it can get down in your basement. It's a lot of things you have to be up on the roof to actually see it.
Oh, really? Okay.
A lot of the sealant that's used in the roofing world is a 10-year sealant. Well, a roof should last more than 10 years.
Right, I was gonna say, what about the 25 year?
The sealant fails.
Yeah.
And we can go up there and reseal anything that needs sealed and then buy you that extra 10 years.
Gotcha.
And if we're there doing an inspection and there's a couple nails that need sealed up, or a boot, something, we just go ahead and do that for you.
Okay.
I'm not gonna call a crew and have them come out and charge me $500 to
do something.
$5 worth of seal.
Yeah.
It's on my truck. We just take care of it for our clients.
Excellent. Talk to me one more thing that I'm very curious about, because in Indianapolis, where we are, I don't see this a lot, but up in northern Indiana, where we have our lake house at Wawasee, there's a lot of people that have a metal roof. And I don't know what is, like, if that's a trend or it's an aesthetic thing, or if it's the kind of properties, or it seems like it's low end, high end, medium. I don't know what's driving people to metal roofs, up there, but if it's northern Indiana, I don't know if that means anything to you, but what's your take on metal roofing, and is it just a aesthetic thing?
Metal is becoming very popular.
Really? Okay.
I mean, it is growing faster than anyone expected. It's at a point now where there's, we call it an ag panel, which is just like your basic that you see on a
Yes.
barn, where you can see all the screws going through. And then all the way up to where you will not see a single fastener. Everything is custom bent. They bring a machine out, run the panels through the machine to
Okay.
fit your roof perfect. All the trim, the ridge cap, everything is custom bent to your house, so it's all perfect when we're done.
Wow.
Metal, we use Indiana Metal. They give a 50-year warranty on the color alone. So if you get a red roof and it fades at all in 50 years, they come out and replace your roof. A lot of people are concerned about the noise. You think
Yeah.
about an old barn and you can hear the rain hitting the
Yeah.
roof. Well, if you can see the bottom of the roof when it rains, you'll hear it.
Yes.
But in most houses, you have decking under the metal, then an attic space, insulation, ceiling. You're not going to hear that rain hit the
So
roof.
they don't put anything extra underneath it to absorb that. It's just like I can't hear the rain on my regular roof anyway.
Right.
It's kind of the same.
It's the same layer of components.
Yeah.
Some of the components are different, like the synthetic underlayment
Uh-huh.
on a asphalt shingle roof is kind of thin, almost like a tarp.
Right.
Where on a metal roof, it looks like bubble wrap to
Okay.
help absorb some of the heat. And there are some different components, but it's all the same, layers of things, but they're a little different.
Yeah. I lied. I was going to ask him one more question, but it made me think of this other one. So what about solar panels going up on things? Because a couple years ago, they passed a new statute in Indiana so that an HOA cannot prevent you from putting solar panels on. And that was a big impediment to that movement. And I feel like it should be a no-brainer to have solar panels, maybe, but maybe not, because they don't seem to be as popular as what I thought. And I'm curious from your perspective in the industry, what's going on, and how's that interface? Because that maybe is not even part of what you do. You have to work around it, or vice versa.
Solar pros and cons to everything, right?
Yeah.
So we're an Owens Corning installer. Owens Corning has a bracket that they just came up with this year that slides under the shingle and comes up and holds the solar panel, so there's nothing going through the shingle.
Interesting. Okay.
If you do not have that bracket and you drill a bolt through a shingle, then you have voided the warranty of the roof.
Okay.
And that's a big piece, because obviously there's going to be a lot of brackets, a lot of solar panels out there. So it gets in kind of a gray area. If there's a leak, who's responsible? Is it, well, I just had this roof put on.
Right.
Someone put big bolts through your roof. It's their fault. Well, you put
Those are holes. That's
Yeah.
how water goes in.
And sometimes the manufacturer will say, we'll warrant everything except the shingles that have the bolts through them. I will say, when it comes time to replace a roof that has solar panels, we will not touch them, because as soon as we remove one bolt, we void the warranty from the solar company.
Okay.
So they will need to come remove them, we do our work, and then they come put them back on.
Got it.
It's an extra step, but we're at this point, we're used to it.
Yeah.
It's nothing crazy. We just kind of get everything lined up logistically. And
Right. More of
care
a
of business.
process than.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter to you either way. And you guys do or do not put up solar panels?
We do not.
Do not do it. Okay.
No.
Okay.
We looked at, there's some shingles that are solar shingles,
Uh-huh.
gaining popularity, but they take a specific certified installer,
Okay.
and those installers are extremely expensive and not readily available.
Okay.
So it's kind of tricky. I had some clients looking into that, and after a few months, they said this just isn't worth it.
Yeah, too much hassle.
And they're brand new, so
Right.
how much research has been done, what they produce and how long they last and things of that nature.
No, definitely. We just had one client that had put solar panels on his home, and it worked out great. They had to do some extra support in the attic, right, I don't remember him making a comment about the drilling the holes in, but it was I'm gonna call it a success for them. They liked it, and it cut their electric bill to, so they put 2 electric cars on it, and then it's like, well, you need like a whole back 5 acres to cover all that.
Yep.
Just teasing, but no, I'm very interested in solar. I feel like it should be, just my dumb lawyer view, is solar seems like it should be a good thing for everybody, but it has problems and drawbacks and costs, and the benefit and how long those things last and how much money they save you really depends on a lot of factors.
It
So,
does.
yeah.
I will say that anyone I know that has solar loves it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I don't hear any
Nobody complains
no
about it.
negative feedback.
Yeah.
No one says, I wish we would not have put solar on our house.
Right.
It's,
Right.
They all seem to love it.
No, cool. Well, parting shot, anything you'd like the audience to know about you or the company that is important, or in the industry that would be a important thing to know about? Otherwise, I really appreciate chit-chatting with you. It's been wonderful.
The only thing that I would say is
He's looking in the camera.
It's very important.
This is important.
to do your homework before you hire someone to work on your home.
Yeah, we talked about that before we got on camera. Please elaborate on this, because it's,
Yeah. When you're bringing someone to your home to work on your home, whether it's your roof, your siding, your windows, your doors, there are a lot of companies out there, and there's a lot of companies that do a great job. There's a lot of companies that do not do a great job. And a lot of times people will think, oh, I can save $5,000. I'm gonna save that $5,000 and go
Right.
with, we call it chucking a truck.
Right.
Someone that doesn't really have a company, it's just a guy with a ladder that comes in and says, oh, Open Box can do your roof for $20,000, I'll do it for $15,000.
right,
There's a reason you can do it for $15,000.
yeah,
There's a lot of install practices that we follow for warranty purposes that, 5 years down the road, if there's an issue, you might not be able to get a hold of that person. Maybe they cut a corner that voided the warranty. We stand behind everything we do. A lot of companies do. I'm not saying we're the only company,
yeah,
but
no, of course,
I always warn people, hey, before you make any decisions, do your homework,
yeah,
check out Google reviews, referrals, talk to people. I can give you a list of people or houses to drive by,
Nice.
or whatever you would make you feel comfortable moving forward.
no, it's important, and I wanted you to say something like that, and I'm thankful for it. And we've done litigation on this warranty issue. I want to emphasize that, because we literally litigated a warranty problem where the tolerance was off. Expert witness tolerance had to be measured, and it was within 1/100th of an inch that the tolerance was missed. And the end of the trial, the judge said, "You're out of spec." To the other side, I was saying that they did a bad job, and they did. They were out of warranty. So if they missed that warranty spec, the whole thing was voided. And it wasn't a roofing product; it was a flooring product. But it's the same issue, that you got to have a reputable company that stands behind it and knows how to install the spec and can do it. And I can only emphasize that is so important, because it was a big flooring job, and roofing is expensive, and you don't want to have a roof up there that's not under warranty. So 20 years later, when you're needing to get it fixed. Awesome. Thank you for bringing that up, Donnie. Anything else? Otherwise, I really appreciate it. I'll see you tomorrow at our next meeting, and thanks for the advice for our audience.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome.
It's been a good time.
Cool. Thank you.
Awesome.
All right. Have a great day.